So, if the Millennium Falcon can do the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs, how fast will this movie burn to the ground? Because
I don't know. They've got the right
holy
director.
crap!
Ron Howard is a great choice for this movie. Like
You
Lucas
are
approached
aware
him
that
for Phantom Menace.
you are
turned it down.
aware that Ron Howard said that Phantom Menace is a good
Ron Howard has
Take it
made
right.
Ron Howard has made some very good movies. Like
He has
yeah,
made some very good movies. Made one of my favourite movies of all time. But
The Grinch.
yes, exactly.
Can we just acknowledge though that Armin made a really good segue? Like what the parsec.
I didn't even hear what he said.
I liked it. It was the whole parsec theme. I give it an A plus. I mean,
Yes.
It was a good segue.
Well, here's the thing. So first we found out that with 3 weeks left of shooting, and they started principal photography in January, the directors walked away. Then apparently it turned out that they were just outright fired because they were trying to do a more Guardians of the Galaxy movie, and that's not what Disney wanted. And then we're hearing that the actors apparently so bad they had to bring on emergency acting coaches before the scenes were happening. So,
And apparently some of the actors didn't agree with what they wanted to do with it as well. So
Yeah.
it's a Lord and Miller problem. It's not necessarily a Lucasfilm problem.
yeah.
It
But at the
makes
same
me
time,
laugh.
why even get comedy directors if you want a Western movie? I don't see how that correlates, but that's just me.
It makes me laugh because they hired it to comedy improv sort of directors, like when you look at Jump Street and stuff. And they started making, the reports are basically saying they started making us a comedic, improvised movie. And it's well, Lawrence Kasdan's written a script for this. Apparently Lucasfilm's pissed off because they're not following the script. They're encouraging improv on set and stuff. And it's... you can't really
Honestly,
do that with a Star Wars
I feel
movie.
like something went wrong, and I feel like Disney told Lucasfilm to be more like Marvel and be like, go think out of the box and let them do what they want. And the Lucasfilm guys do not want that because out of the box thinking got them the prequels. So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
But I mean, they were the wrong choices from the start, really, for a Star
yeah,
Wars film,
I
in
mean,
my
Mitch
opinion.
makes a good point though, in that why do you get comedy directors for if you wanted this other specific type of genre for this movie? And also, these guys are great directors, have great track records. So I'm more likely to believe that they would have made a good movie because they've had a good track record. You know what I mean?
They might have done. Apparently, they're really douchey in person. I've heard.
It doesn't
Really?
surprise me.
I mean,
They've had a lot of success very quickly. It's bound to have gone to their heads a little bit.
I'll reserve my right to if I meet them one day. But still,
I mean,
it
I'm
can
just
be
not
forgiven
judging them
for
right now. I'm
being
saying
douchey.
what I've heard. Apparently, they are quite douchey. But
but I don't know. It's just I don't think they would have made a bad movie even if they're improvising comedy. It's just but it is. I get what you mean. They're supposed to stick on script. It's not. They're not supposed to improvise whatever they're doing. But at the same time, let's just say it's both their problems because one was going off script, but the other was got a comedy directors when they probably should have got the more Western director, like people who have done that. You know what I mean?
And supposedly they were told as well. They were specifically told you need to stick to the script because they kept improvising. And Lawrence Kasdan was furious, but they just kept ignoring. They were basically just ignoring Kathleen Kennedy, who apparently hated them from the start anyway.
yeah, she's had some very choice words. I don't know.
Yeah. That's been the funniest thing. I think Kathleen Kennedy's handling this pretty well in the situation, but it's quite funny seeing just some of the fire that's coming out of this situation.
It's it's not necessarily just a Lord and Miller problem, though. It's
No.
these from this you can tell that these new Star Wars films are made by committee. Everyone always used to say that Marvel just get directors to do what Marvel Studios wants. Lucasfilm has that issue. Marvel doesn't have that, especially at the minute. But
You need a certain amount of that though to build a cinematic universe.
need
you need to keep it consistent,
need a certain amount of
consistent.
But when you're what are they now 10 movies deep with this one, you can kind of give people just give directors space. You're getting them for a reason. You're getting Lord and Miller for a reason. Clearly they've only got Lord and Miller in the first place for name value. So we want your name, but do it our way. The committee has spoken. I don't know. It's a shit show, and they should just stop these spin-off movies in general.
I mean, I agree, especially with that last statement. I even from the moment it was announced or even just rumored, I don't want a Han Solo movie.
I don't think
I don't want anything that takes away from like his mysterious background. I don't want to know where he comes from and what he's done prior to A New Hope.
Yeah, no, you give the mysterious part a definition, and it's just like, well, that's not as good.
And
it's like it's calling it midichlorians.
I was about to say it's a prequel problem.
I want to talk more about also Han Solo is a movie that doesn't need to exist. Just like I'll admit it, I love Rogue One, but the movie doesn't need to exist. But here's the thing, and this is not meaning to sound like an insult to Lucasfilm, although it is, because they're treating their fan base like absolute morons. And here's what they're doing. They're pandering to the Star Wars crowd knowing you'll buy anything we put out, and it's true. And the problem is with that is they're not willing to take a bigger risk like telling us a Old Republic movie, because they know they could produce a fucking Han Solo movie, and it can suck, and it's going to make $1 billion because it's Star Wars. So they're not taking a big risk doing something uncommon. Instead, they're just treading ground. And I'll tell you right now, if this movie sucks, if it's like a 40% on Rotten Tomatoes, it's still going to make like $1 billion. And they're still going to go, oh, we can make a sequel if we want. You're still going to see it. And that's a problem. And that's actually Hollywood itself now. So it just sucks.
But at the same time, it's a problem they inherited because George did fuck it up. It's like, shit, people don't like Star Wars when you go out the box. So Kathleen Kennedy's gone to the committee like, right, we need to be exactly like the three people like. We can't get out of that. We have to stay in this lane. The left and the right of that is bad. Just stick in the middle. Everyone follow us. We're going to do it this way.
How sad is it that Star Wars Rebels is currently the best thing going in
so
Star
good.
Wars? Like, it's better than Force Awakens. It's better than Rogue One. Like, Rebels is fucking great. And I just wish that
why
creative
Rebels
team
is so
would be given
great
the
is
movie
because
franchise.
Lucasfilm isn't overwatching it every step of the way. They have talented people who just love Star Wars running it. That's why.
But,
It's also not costing you $250 million.
Yeah.
What was the giant, great big like Force user thing that Tom Baker voiced in season 3 called? I don't remember the name at all, but he was like this massive being who uses the Force.
I want to say
he's not a
Badu
Jedi,
or
he's not
something,
a
but I
Sith.
can't remember off the top of my head right now.
Yeah, but stuff like that's awesome. That's the sort of thing I want to see in a movie. Like bring he's as good as a Yoda for me because he's mysterious. You don't really know a lot about him. He talks in riddles. That's Star
And the other
Wars to
problem
me.
we have with Star Wars at its current iteration is until the last movie in the series is out, Episode 9, they're going to make like another spin-off, probably Boba Fett or something, whatever the hell, boring characters.
Oh,
yeah, I know. It's so stupid. And the comics and all other media cannot waver outside of that and expand on anything because they got this tight grip on it. Like, as great as the Star Wars comics are, we're still dealing with a time period between fucking A New Hope and Empire. And I know everything is fine, so there's no stakes in it. It's just they're so complacent and they know they can sell even trash to people, so that's all they're doing, and that sucks. That's honestly just shit. It's...
I mean, what I'd like to see that would be really ballsy, if they refuse to go back to the Old Republic, maybe jump forward like 500 years or something in time.
If they
to
don't go back, they don't go forward. Because it's the same thing.
I just want to see in a different era that's not like the Han Solo movie. We joked about it years ago on the podcast about Baby Yoda. I don't actually want a Baby Yoda movie.
Yeah, but they might.
People can keep sending me the Baby Yoda fan art because I've received a couple over the years.
I mean, legit, there was actually talks, remember, of a Yoda movie possibly being announced, and they pulled it back. Like, they were legit thinking of that shit. That's how stupid they are, and that's how stupid fans are that they'll buy. And I'm telling you...
That's the problem. It's not stupid. It's safe. It's smart. Stick to what people know. You're just like flicking that nostalgia.
And that's like the biggest issue with Star Wars is it doesn't have any when you look at the MCU, right? You're like, oh man, there's Doctor Strange. He's completely different than what Guardians look like. They're completely different than what Ant-Man is like. Star Wars, you're like, oh, AT-AT Walker. It's existed for 3,000 years in the future, 4,000 years in the past. It's always a goddamn AT-AT Walker. Sure, it has an extra fucking, thing on its foot. But it's always the same shit. It's like just... if they waver too much away, then it becomes unfamiliar. And Star Wars is familiar for one simple imagery style. So it's like, you can't waver away from that.
It's literally the red letter media videos. It's like ATSTs, ATSTs.
I've seen the meme. I've never seen the video, but yes.
So funny. It's
Can I just say that Mitch used a phrase a minute ago, flicking the nostalgia bean?
Yep,
that
yep,
is
that was on
fucking
purpose.
genius. That is fucking genius. I think we need that on a t-shirt. The comic book cast, flicking the nostalgia bean over and over.
I don't know if Teespring will let you have that imagery up there.
Oh, is somebody else? Oh, you stole that from somebody else, didn't
Oh
you?
no, I didn't steal it from someone else. I was actually scratching myself when I thought of that. But that's how it came
That's a
about.
good little phrase. Get it copyrighted.
So, yeah, Han Solo. We'll see how that does next year, if it even releases next year. Who the hell knows at this point?
It's got to be pushed back, surely.
We'll see.
Listen, it's amazing. It's almost like the same situation as with Justice League, where they're going to have to just reshoot
I was going to say,
so
if
much of
Justice
the
League
movie.
hasn't been pushed back yet, then Han
True.
Solo won't.
True.